It's thinking.
Welcome to the empty
Oh
window.
boy, it's up there. Here we go. And welcome to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Eric. He's Josh. Brad isn't with us tonight, but that's okay. He's here in spirit.
R.I.P.
We're going to have a good time. The dynamic duo coming at you. We're going to get through this crazy Week 14 recap because, boy, just some odd stuff happened today.
I hated it so much.
Me too. Me and Josh were talking before the show about how much we dislike fantasy football this week.
But, half the stuff didn't make sense. It's like...
It didn't. It really didn't.
The Eagles beat the Saints. Does anybody else see a problem with that? Anybody?
Yeah.
No one?
I have an issue with that.
The Bears shellacked the Texans. Didn't just beat them, shellacked them.
Destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them.
The Broncos won a game. What? what are we doing?
Dallas looked amazing against a terrible football team.
Yeah, your boy, Tony Pollard.
I know, right? Oh, that Deion Lewis touchdown today? Thanks. Appreciate you. You haven't touched the ball in 4 weeks? And you're going to get a touchdown? Great. Glad they give these. But let's talk about something positive. Josh, tell them about the FSA.
Fantasy Sports Alliance, boys and girls. Got to check it out, FSA-FR.com. Right now, the Dynasty Leagues are getting ready to head into their playoff matchups. I will be going into one, thankfully. I'm in the top 4 of my league. There is the Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo regions. No, we don't have Echo yet. Excuse me. Sorry.
Next year. I'm going to be an Echo next year.
Next year, Eric will be an Echo. But it's going to be constantly growing, constantly evolving. Brian has ideas for leagues that he just dreams up every single year. It's amazing. I recommend that you guys check it out because if you don't, you're missing out. Fantasy Sports Alliance, FSA-FR.com on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Yahoo, AOL.com. There, if you can think of it, it's there, bro.
MySpace.
MySpace. Black People Meet. Grindr. Just everywhere, bro. So check us out. FSA-FR.com. Every Tuesday night, you're going to get the Average Bros broadcast. And those are also have podcasts available to go along with that. On Wednesday night, you have the Fanatically Real broadcast, also having podcasts. And you can get those wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out, Fantasy Sports Alliance. We love it. We love being a part of it. And we're so thankful that we get to do this. So please check it out and let us know what you think about it. Give us some comments, some feedback, and we'll see if we care. All right.
Yeah. Ask us some questions somewhere, like comment section or wherever you want on the Twitter sphere. Hit us up with some questions. We'll answer them. We'll probably give you poor advice like we did this past week, but we're going to try.
I blame you for taking my advice, not my poor advice for being poor.
Well, that's a good point. Because we're only experts in our heads, right?
I like to think that we're doing all right. Last week, good week. This week, not so good week. But that just tells you, fantasy football, it's just the way things go. The only people who really get it right is Vegas, and even they may get it wrong. So,
right. And it was a crazy week. Like you said, the Saints lost to the Eagles. Miles Sanders comes out, dropped the 30 bomb in some leagues.
Well, he had an 80-yard run. That'll do it.
That'll help. Brad's boy, Jonathan Taylor, came out gangbusters, 20 for 150 and 2 scores. Okay, he was good last week, but he hasn't been consistently good. And then he just comes out and puts up those kinds of numbers.
Derrick Henry, very good.
I think he's had 4 200-yard, 2 touchdown games. Something like that. Something insane. He had 36 points today. It's whatever. It's fine.
He's very talented.
Yeah. Speaking of FSA, the Lunatics who beat me in the first round of the redraft playoffs, looking real good with Tyreek Hill and Derrick Henry. because Tyreek Hill put up another. What do you have? Another 26 points today. Gosh, he's quick. But Pat Mahomes looked a little human today. That was kind of surprising. That Dolphins secondary looked real good. Xavier Howard, that one-handed like OBJ interception, man, that was crazy.
I love it.
It was fun to watch. Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers things. What's that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, there were some normal things about this week, but then there were some things that were just so far out of character that it was difficult to watch. You know, like the Steelers have now dropped 2 in a row. That was strange.
It was.
Is Washington good? I don't know. They beat the Niners, but the Niners have stepped up and played better. I honestly just don't know. Are the Eagles? But the Eagles are better now with Jalen Hurts. We do know that. He brought another dimension to their game with the zone read, which happened to be very special to them. He had over 100 yards rushing to go. Miles Sanders over 100 yards rushing, which Carson Wentz will not be starting again at quarterback this year. I think that's safe to say.
That is the word. That was the word on Twitter before the game. The expectation was that Jalen Hurts was going to start the rest of the season. So, yeah. And some other out of uncharacteristic things. Mitchell Trubisky and Drew Lock both outscored Pat Mahomes today. Sure. Called that one. Not at all.
What?
If you did, congratulations.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
It's so nuts. There was a meme with Doug Peterson in it, and it said Doug Peterson with Carson Wentz, and it's just Doug Peterson, and then it said with any other quarterback, and it turns him into Bill Belichick. He like slowly morphs into Bill Belichick. That was pretty funny. And then what was it? Oh, there was another one. Did the Bears really make a bad decision choosing choosing Mitchell Trubisky? And they had Deshaun Watson stats today, and then Pat Mahomes' stats today, and then Trubisky's stats today. So yeah, scary moment for you with your dynasty team, right? With Deshaun.
Things are not lining up the way that they're supposed to. Yeah, I'm not really pumped about my game next week, but we will see what happens. We will see what happens.
I mean, that's fantasy football.
Yeah.
Brett. Oh,
go ahead.
The ghost of Brad asks, where did Sam Darnold finish? Where did he finish?
I have a feeling. I had a feeling that he would bring that up. And I think that he already knows, which is probably why he's asking.
5.58 points, according to ESPN. Who were we worried about him outscoring?
That's 26th. And I think I said Kyler Murray.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Kyler did better than that.
Yep, that's a 2-time pie. I'm ready for that. That's okay.
Hey, you stuck your neck out there and put down a pie bet. That's all right. Good for you.
You got to be willing to call your shots sometimes. Like the great Bambino. Good to go.
I mean, Brad's villain outscored Deshaun Watson today. So, but let's get into that, right? That's what everybody's here for. Let's get into our heroes and villains.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's heroes, villains, and sidekicks.
Boom. Definitely got some sidekicks tonight.
Brad says pies. Yeah. Don't worry, Brad. We'll get you a few before the end of the year.
It's weird how he can be live tweeting during the show, but he can't be on the show tonight. Weird. Huh?
Oh, that's okay.
Weird.
He'll be back next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with Brad's heroes. Let's see how he did, since he wants to talk trash over there. Ryan Tannenhill. He did okay. In a 2 QB league, he's startable. 16 points. 1 QB league, not so great. What do we want to say? Sidekick? Hero? Sidekick?
I'll give him the sidekick, but that's it. Still, because he had 16.48 points, so it didn't submarine your day. There were just a lot of guys in that 18 to 20 range. So yeah, I'll give him the old sidekick.
All right. And then his running back, David Montgomery. So this is the third straight week one of us has picked David Montgomery for a running back hero. And he came through yet again, running back 5 with probably 25 points, depending on what your league's scoring. 11 carries for 113 yards and a touchdown, and then another 3 receptions for 42 yards.
Yeah, that was pretty good. He was fine.
Is he for real? Like, is he going to be that? You think he'll be a top 12 draft pick if he keeps going like this next year?
He could be. Some of this too is going to depend on who they get next year as the head coach, because Matt Nagy will not be the head coach next year.
Oh,
they're going to have a new quarterback. We have to see what kind of system they're going to run. But David Montgomery is showing, a lot of that talent that we thought that he had. It was just hidden under Matt Nagy's terrible coaching. So good job, David Montgomery.
Right. I wonder if Foles comes back, or if Foles is the starter again, if he falls off. I wonder if this is the Trubisky effect, where they just try to keep the ball out of his hands. Not that Nick Foles has shown to be any better, really, than Trubisky. So
not terrible. Both terrible.
Uh-huh. It's nice, though. It keeps the defense off the field. So keep running the ball, David.
It is. There's a little bit of a threat with Trubisky's legs, and I think that does help. I mean, Trubisky played pretty well today. I mean, you can't knock that. I mean, he's the QB4 on the week, so it wasn't like it was all David Montgomery. The Texans were just atrocious today. It was all bad.
Yeah, it was bad. All right, let's move on to his wide receiver. Who is that supposed to be?
Oh, that's Brashard Perriman. Don't worry, I know who it is, bud. That's Brashard Perriman with 3 catches for 26 yards.
Oof.
So
it's there.
Sam Darnold was bad, therefore Brashard Perriman was also bad. Not just a villain, that's a straight up bust. I mean, he's basically in the sewers. He was so bad. I know it happens. It's okay, though. You called your shots. It's all good.
It's a tough one. Good try, Brad. Good try. And his tight end there, is that Evan Ingram?
Yeah, it is, bud.
How did he do today? I don't know where he finished at.
Not good, Bob.
Probably not good. Another villain. Oh, goodness. He was outscored by Durham Smythe, the second tight end from Miami. Sorry, third tight end from Miami. Excuse me. Adam Shaheen also outscored Evan Ingram today. Ross Dwelly even outscored him. Oh, Ross, I remember picking you for a hero, and you barely saw the field. Feels bad.
Yeah. Yep. Evan Ingram not have a good day.
Yeah. Pretty. All right. So 50-50 for Brad. But tight end's a crapshoot. So.
Well, I had a lot of Mike Gesicki, Evan Ingram splits in several leagues, and I decided Evan Ingram, sure thing this week, going with it. Well, Mike Gesicki scored 2 touchdowns. Evan Ingram was outscored by me. So that just tells you how terrible he was. This is not a good Evan Ingram week. Hopefully he'll bounce back next week. We'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, so if you're a Gesicki owner, that was a tough spot for you right there. He's been up and down, but man, when he's on, he's been great. But that right shoulder injury today, he left the game. Hopefully it's not serious, but it looked like they were kind of like trying to adjust it, and like I don't know if they're trying to put it like back in place or what on the sidelines there. So it didn't look good though. So I would definitely be worried if I'm a Mike Gesicki owner. Maybe get one of those guys we just talked about, that Shaheen or Smythe as a backup, because it seems like Tua likes the tight end, and he looked pretty decent today too.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
See, that's the thing, right? So the Chiefs are supposed to be really, really good against tight ends, and the Cardinals are supposed to be really, really bad against tight ends. Who played the Giants today? What the heck, man? I mean,
I don't know.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean, the Saints are supposed to be good against the rush, and then Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts both have over 100 yards. So,
and that was the first time that they had allowed a 100-yard rusher in over 50 games.
Right? And they gave up 2. So it it goes to show you how big a crapshoot fantasy football is. One thing I forgot to mention on the preview show, and I wrote this down at the top of my notes. I was like, play your studs. You should play your studs, and that kind of held true for the most part this week. I mean, a few of them gave you some stinkers, but if you played your studs, I think you did okay.
Yeah, like some of your guys didn't kill you. I mean, like I said, Deshaun Watson didn't kill you. He didn't help you.
Yeah.
He didn't kill you. Zeke hurt you. He hurt you bad.
Unfortunately. And he's only had, one good game in like the last 6 or so. That's just been, man, they've just been bad all the way around.
Aaron Jones disappointed today, which also did not make sense.
Not today, no, but he's been pretty disappointing all season long.
But based on that matchup, you would think, okay, he's going to go out and he's going to have a pretty good game, but he didn't. And it's just there's so many things that kind of went into this week. It was a strange week. Hopefully next week will make a little bit more sense. We'll see.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I don't know. Not if you see Dion Lewis snaking touchdowns from workhorse Wayne Gallman all week again. All right,
Workhorse
Josh.
Wayne.
Workhorse. Yeah, that's actually, he doesn't have a nickname, right? We can call him that. Workhorse Wayne. Let's do that.
The house.
All right, Josh, let's get into your heroes.
Let's not. But all right. Well, I guess we will discuss Justin Herbert, who is a sidekick. Right now, he's the QB 14. Didn't win you this week. He threw the ball 44 times. Which you're thinking, that must be pretty good.
Right?
Nope. Most of those were little dump offs to Austin Eckler. And he only threw for 243 yards. So not impressive. Luckily, he had 2 touchdowns that kind of helped his week. But not hero status. Sorry. Now, my running back, that's actually a picture of Carry-On, I believe. But we're going, that is a picture of Carry-On. But we're going with Deandre Swift, who I said was a hero this week. And he played pretty well. He is an RB1, which was great. He only had 24 yards, but he got a touchdown, and then he had 4 catches. So I did hit on DeAndre. Feel good about that. Now the last 2 guys. Not good, Bob. Not good at all. Unfortunately, I thought that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would come in hot. I thought that they were going to, after their nice week where they recharged, I thought that they were, dude, I mean, come on. Like, I really did think that they were going to come in and they were going to play really, really well. They played okay, but Chris Godwin got 2 for 25. 2 for freaking 25. That ain't going to cut it. That ain't going to cut it.
Not in playoff time, unfortunately.
No. And I started him in one of my leagues thinking, hey, I got him. And man, what a bust there. Same thing with my boy Dalton Schultz. He did okay by being the 3rd best receiver on his team. The problem is that no one cracked 52 yards in receiving on his team. So Dalton Schultz, 3 for 34. That also will not cut it. I apologize for getting this wrong. Like I said, though, that's just fantasy football sometimes. Right now, he's the 21st best tight end in all of fantasy. Bummer. Big time.
But again, it's been a weird season. Let's be honest. It's been a weird season. And this week, especially, also very strange. When you have Drew Lock and Mitchell Trubisky and Tua outscore guys like Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. Hell, Taysom Hill and Derek Carr outscored those guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Did you pick Mike Davis to outscore Alvin Kamara? Because I know I did.
No, I should have. I wish I had. I sat Mike Davis today. I sat him and Miles Sanders. I was like, I regret it now because I'm probably going to lose. I need a Monday Night Miracle from old Lamar Jackson. We'll see what happens.
Well, you probably picked Tony Pollard to outscore Josh Jacobs, right?
Absolutely. No, Tony Pollard on my bench.
You probably picked Kyle Juszczyk to outscore Aaron Jones, right? Yeah, because I know I did.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
He's a fullback. He's not even a true running back. That's crazy.
I know.
Oh my goodness. an interesting thing I saw today. So if you're a Jerick McKinnon owner and you made it through to say next week, you've got to move on, right? Because it's like 2 straight weeks he hasn't touched the ball.
Yeah, it's time. If you haven't done it yet, it's time.
Okay,
for sure. He's been terrible.
Yeah. Well, he's just not getting any opportunities. So it seems like the Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. show out there. So not that they did particularly well today, but at least they touched the ball. So
yeah, Mostert got a little hurt. Jeffrey Wilson came in and played pretty well. He got a touchdown. They kind of split the carries between the two of them. I guess Wilson is number 2 there now with Tevin Coleman and Jerick McKinnon kind of taking the backseat. Tevin Coleman's been banged up all year, which is not really surprising. That's pretty much par for the course for him. And Jerick McKinnon has not been right in years. So it kind of makes sense.
Okay. How about some of these late season ads, guys like Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown? Are you holding out hope that they might give you something next week?
With Le'Veon, no. I'm not banking anything on Le'Veon.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to, but
I would too.
But you got to call it what it is. He hasn't really done a whole lot since getting onto the team. I mean, this week he had 2 carries. 2 carries, and that just isn't going to cut it. Clyde had 16. So, I mean, we're talking about like a 80-20 split, 90-10 split. It's not – Le'Veon's not going to help you this year. And then Antonio Brown, yes, he's getting more involved, and he was actually more involved, than Chris Godwin was. But right now, I mean, Brady's just spreading that ball out. Scotty Miller had a huge touchdown pass or a huge touchdown reception. I don't know. I'm not – they're going to be becoming a running team. They really want to control the clock. Ronald Jones carried the ball 18 times. LaShawn McCoy 4 times. Keyshawn Vaughn once. Brady only threw 23 times. They're trying to reduce the number of passes that he's throwing and really tighten that up. So I don't know how much we're going to be able to trust these Buccaneers receivers going forward. We're going to have to see what these matchups are. And this is a plus matchup where we really thought that they were going to come out and play well. And unfortunately, they just did not. We've seen what they wanted to do. I think this was kind of the blueprint for them to be successful going forward. And it's going to hurt some fantasy owners, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. Do you think you could pivot to somebody like a Lynn Bowden Jr.? He looked pretty good today. You think he's for real?
I need to see a little bit more, which I know right now, I mean, it's not what you want to hear based on the circumstances, but this is too late in the season to try and depend on Lynn Bowden Jr. from the Miami Dolphins. You got to remember they had a couple injuries that happened right there. Devontae Parker went out. Mike Gesicki went out. Jakeem Grant, he was hurt as well. So it kind of makes sense that Lynn Bowden was involved. Not yet.
Okay.
Just hold off.
All right. Let's move on to my heroes. Well, not that I want to, but let's talk about them.
We can talk about it.
Matt Ryan was god-awful. I don't know what number he was exactly, but he got you a whopping 7.2 points. He was outscored by the likes of Nick Mullins and Gardner Minshew, who hasn't played a game in 8 weeks, maybe more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 25th. That's what his ranking is right now.
Right. Brandon Allen outscored him, the Bengals backup. So, yeah, that's, again, another what I assumed was a plus matchup and just didn't work out. Because the Chargers' defense is okay, but they've been banged up. They haven't been the best against the receivers, which they have in spades, and he didn't do anything with. So that was pretty disappointing. Wayne Gallman, my running back, another disappointing day because Dion Lewis snaked his touchdown after he did all the work. He wouldn't have had a great day with that touchdown, but he'd have outscored Kenyon Drake and Rojo, which would have been pretty decent. I think he would have been, he would have been a running back 1. Barely, but he would have been an RB1.
It counts.
So unfortunately, he did not finish there. So ended up with, I think 10 and change. Had some good runs. He was really efficient with the touches he did get, but he just didn't see any goal line work and got outscored by Josh Jacobs, who was joking that I'm not going to play today. So always fun when one of your RB1s or top draft pick trolls you on Twitter, and then you're like, ooh, do I start him? Do I not start him? I feel bad for anybody that sat him after they read that.
Yeah, not good.
Mike Evans, who I had to go to the second page of scoring leaders to find today. So another whiff for Eric. Doing a great job with you guys. Next time, if you guys are listening to us and you're watching my heroes and villains, just flip them. Just take who all the villains are and play them, and then sit all of my heroes, and it'll work out for you, I promise. Because Mike Evans, while he did a little bit better than Chris Godwin, still only 8.6 points, so not even really flex worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, my tight end, who lives and dies with his quarterback, and he wasn't good, so neither was Hayden Hurst. He finished, I don't even know where he finished either. Way down there. Probably on the second page again, so probably like tight end 30-something. Did he goose egg you? Probably. That would be my... Oh, no, there it is. 1.7 points.
So, yeah, didn't goose you.
Didn't goose you.
Just felt like it.
Just killed you. Yeah, I should have went with Cole Kmet. Felt good about Cole this week, and I didn't do it. Oh, well. Go with my gut next time. All right. And now for the extra fun part, let's get into villains. Let's get into Brad's villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like talking about Brad. All right. So we got Kirk Cousins at quarterback. He was QB, 12, 13?
I'm showing on mine in a 4-point league. 17 right now.
You got him 17?
Yeah.
I got him at 14 on ESPN, which I believe is 4-point, I think.
Sidekick. We'll give him a sidekick.
Okay. 2 QB. Yeah. I mean, definitely startable in 2 QB. He's been good the last few weeks. He always likes to make you sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully,
like a turbo vet. Mm-hmm.
Right. Thankfully, it's a Dalvin Cook show up there, so that you don't have to worry about Kirk too much. Who was his running back? Is that Kenyon Drake?
Yes, that is Kenyon Drake.
Looks like Kenyon Drake. I believe he was an RB1.
I'm showing 14 right now.
14?
PPR. Yep.
Okay.
With 14 points, actually.
I have him as 11 with 16 on ESPN standard scoring, which is full point PPR. So 23 for 80 with a score and one reception for 10 yards. So 16 points. So not bad, but considering the running back performances today, I mean, yeah, there were some real high highs there, but there were a lot of lows. So I would say not a villain. I would say miss there. What do we got here? Oh, MJ's out there. Hey, MJ, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Hello. We already talked about that. Devontae Parker got hurt.
Yeah, we don't count those. We don't like that. We don't like to see guys get hurt. We don't like to see heroes or villains succeed because of injuries. So we'll move on from that one. And his tight end, the Hawkinson. Poor audio listeners. We should warn them before we say his name. Although if you listen to us regularly, you should know that's coming. Yeah.
That's right.
TJ, he's tight end 3. MJ played him. Good job, MJ.
Whew.
Good call by you.
6 for 43 and a tutter.
Yeah. He looks good.
That'll do it. That'll do it every time.
Yeah,
That's
it's nice.
Hero.
It's nice to see a Lions tight end succeed every once in a while, since they've had so many good ones and just nothing ever happened with any of them. So
yep. All right, let's do it.
MJ, you have Kelsey and Hawkinson, and you played them both. Goodness. All right. Well,
good for you.
You're in good shape. Yeah. Kelsey just 20 casual, like 27 points, 8 for 136 in a score. No big deal. just 10 targets. He's real good. All
I
right.
really like it if someone would stop him. All right.
I don't think that's going to happen. And now that he's making all that money, he's really not going to stop. So, all right, Josh, let's walk us through your villains, bud.
Okay. Well, Kyler Murray, right now, QB 13, 17.4 points. That's where I have him at. I know in some leagues he has 18.4 points because of a fumble. Our league deducts for fumbles even if they weren't lost. So that's where I'm going. But even if he didn't, then he would have 18.46 points, would actually put him in the QB1 conversation at 11. That's okay. I understand that. No, that is not a villain. That is a QB1. That's a straight up hero. All right. Miles Sanders also played very well. It turns out if you rip off an 82-yard run and score, that's really good. And right now, he's the RB3 on the week. Yeah. So there's that. And Kiki Cootie, I was coming in real hot with that. I was real proud about my circle, dot. And that one I was better on. I want to say, yeah, he did score a touchdown, but he didn't do like anything else.
No. Let's face it, that offense didn't really do anything today. So I'm showing 9.4 points. So, oh boy. I mean, kind of flex worthy, but not really. Let's be honest. Like Antonio Brown outscored him.
Yeah. So 3 for 24 and a tutter. He's not even in the top 30. So I did hit on that one. And then Darren Waller. Well, he made me look smart by being the tight end 5 on the week. 7 for 75 yards. No touchdowns. Brad agreed with that assessment of me picking him. So we were both wrong. The matchup just made so much sense.
Yeah. God, I didn't think – and then, if you're a Nelson Aguilar owner, you assumed he wasn't going to do anything either. And then this was the week to play him with 5 for 100 and a score. Like, against one of the best defenses in the league. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. We take those.
The Colts just got out to a big lead. The Raiders threw the ball a lot more than they wanted to, and
yeah, we need to. Yeah, you got to account for garbage time, unfortunately, and Derek Carr made the most of it today. Normally, you're looking for that for like Drew Lock or Kirk Cousins. Those guys really make the most of their garbage time points and opportunities.
He threw the ball 45 times, and it was largely Nelson Aguilar and Darren Waller that were the beneficiaries out of that. So it happens.
Yep. All right. Let's get into my heroes and be sad about it. Fantasy football is kind of depressing this year.
It's been a little bit more of a crapshoot than normal, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. Some people are still really enjoying it.
I hope they are. I'm so worried that I'm not going to be in the playoffs at all after this week, but what are you going to do? Sometimes it happens like that. All right, Josh Allen, my villain QB. So he looks like QB1, 18.3 points according to ESPN. Yeah, that's a hero. So hero, a sidekick at worst. Definitely not a villain. Nick Chubb hasn't played yet. I keep forgetting that we're supposed to stay away from the Monday night games, and I just don't think he's going to do well against Baltimore's defense. But watch, he'll probably be like the running back 4 or 5. He'll probably just pop off against them because I said he would be a villain. My receiver, Marvin Jones. Okay, that's a hit. He's been good the last couple of weeks. Has definitely found the end zone, but he was not even really flex worthy at. What did he have? He's at the bottom of the page here. 8 points. 4 for 48. No touchdowns. So, just a whatever kind of day for Marvin Jones Jr., unfortunately. And then Robert Tonyan making me look extra smart, just like Darren Waller did for you. He's the tight end 4 or 5, depending on your scoring system, at 14 points with 5 for 36 in a score. If you get in the end zone as a tight end, you're probably going to be a TE1.
Easy.
Terrible. Just terrible. So we did okay. Not great. I shouldn't say that. I didn't do very well. Brad was 50-50 on his heroes. You did okay on heroes. So if you listen to these other guys, my co-hosts here, you should be doing okay. Don't listen to me, though.
Oh, come on. That's like, I mean, you do the best you can. You look at the statistics. You look at the matchups. You see what's supposed to happen. And sometimes it works out that way and sometimes it doesn't. It's just it's gambling. I mean, essentially that's what it is. I mean, we don't want to call it gambling, but you're gambling on who you think is going to be good, and it's a crapshoot sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't work out. We all live and die by the sword. I mean, sometimes you make the playoffs, you win it all, but more often than not, you won't. So
yeah,
it's just
true
life.
Story. I don't know if Brad's out there still. I'm curious if he is. I don't remember who his streaming defense was. Do you remember? Did he have any suggestions?
I don't recall. And that's fine. Who cares?
How about your streaming defense? Who did you say to pick up? Anybody?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I think I picked the Washington Football Club. I can't remember.
If you did, I mean, that would have been the number one defense on the week. They looked real good.
Yeah, I don't want to take credit for that though, because I can't exactly remember. There were some good defenses this week, but some of it was just unpredictable. I thought the Giants would have played better than they did against the Cardinals, and they just did not even show up. This team was really, really bad. I mean, Daniel Jones only completed 11 passes. Terrible.
Yeah, you think that's a result? Because they couldn't protect him. I was just wondering if he, that coming off that injury, he just wasn't ready to come back. Maybe.
No, I mean, I was watching the game. They just could not protect him, and it was bad. I mean, he wasn't as mobile as he should have been, but they should have done a better job of blocking for him than what they did today. It was a terrible effort.
Yeah. Dallas's defense decided to show up.
Hey, better late than never, bud.
Yeah, your Broncos showed up.
They'll do just enough not to get Mike McCarthy fired.
Oh, please get Mike McCarthy. Well, as long as I get the rest of the coaching staff fired, as long as we can get like a new OC that might use, Zeke and CeeDee Lamb and Dak to their fullest potential. Although, man, I wonder if Dak's going to be there next year. We'll see. Some interesting news out of Green Bay Packers camp. I guess Aaron Jones is looking for new representation to come to a deal, to try and find a deal with the Packers. I'm curious now to see if they ever come to something, or if he hits the free agent market and looks to go to another team.
It is interesting to me that the running backs are willing to make this move to try and go out and get bigger money, but quarterbacks, they just stay where they're at, and the situation could be better for them somewhere else. But they just kind of sit tight. Like it would have made sense for Deshaun Watson to turn down that offer in Houston and go somewhere else. But he stayed. He stayed. All of them stayed. Matt Stafford stayed. Aaron Rodgers stayed. Like Derek Carr stayed. So many of these guys, it really would make sense for them to go somewhere else, and they just don't. And I'm not entirely sure why. I don't understand why that, because I feel like they could go out and get this money somewhere else. But good luck. Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on the Deshaun Watson situation. Yeah, he definitely could have moved on to a, I guess, greener pastures, you want to call it. Maybe for less money, but because there's nothing like the NBA has where you have like bird rights and you can offer them like the super max and stuff like that, which I think would be cool for them to like be able to hang on to guys easier. But yeah, I don't know why you would stay with a team that doesn't have a first round pick and can't protect you and hasn't protected you for like 4 years. But
you tell me, Eric, other than the number itself, but for someone like you and me, what's the difference for you between 35 million and 30 million?
Nothing. I'm rich. As Dave Chappelle would say, I'm rich.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I mean, if I could make my situation better, I could take 5 million less. I don't think I'd really miss that other 5. Especially considering I still had 30 to keep me warm at night. But,
right.
Some guys just want every last penny. Like Melo. Melo has never left $1 on the table.
No, he hasn't. Yeah, that Knicks contract was that really aged poorly.
Patty Mahomes, though, he definitely didn't leave any money on the table.
No, he certainly didn't. But so far, we'll see if it holds true. But so far, he's been worth every nickel and dime that they've paid him. Not necessarily today, but most of the time, like 99% of the time, he's great.
They still won, and they're the 1 seed right now. So,
yeah, man. Oh, I thought Miami was gonna. I thought they had a shot. They really did. They played tough.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, Miami started out very well. Had 2 interceptions on Mahomes in the first quarter, and you're like, "Wow, is this really about to happen?" And Miami finally just got too beat up for them to actually pull it off. But they showed a valiant effort, and there's still a chance that Miami can make playoffs. So, yeah, I'm excited to see that Miami and Buffalo in the playoffs with no New England.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. All right. Anything we want to mention for any other news we want to cover? I'm not nearly as good at this as Brad is. So,
no, I mean, like you said, there's a few injuries like Jakeem Grant, Mike Gesicki, and Devontae Parker. Those guys all got banged up for the Dolphins. I just kind of go through and see if there's any other fantasy-related news. Damian Harris has got that back injury. We need to look into that.
For sure. Matt Stafford exited late. Keep an eye on him with a rib injury. That could be bad. I hope it's not like Drew Brees level bad, but it could hold him out next week. So be prepared for that. Who else? Debo. You probably haven't relied on him all year, but man, is it nice to have him back. Scary moment for Alex Smith with that leg injury. Thankfully, I read that it was a strained calf and x-rays were negative. So thank goodness for that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's not too bad. And with Debo as a hamstring, it didn't look good. It did not look good.
Yep, it did not. Anybody else? That's really all the fantasy relevant stuff. Noah Fant was out, but that was illness, so not really.
They said he might have food poisoning.
What did he eat?
Food poisoning. I don't know.
Don't they do the pregame meals at the stadium there?
I mean, I thought he was going to eat a W, but he got too sick for that.
I thought he was going to eat a W.
So, I don't know. David Johnson is on the COVID list. It's not like you were really using him anyway. Brandon Cooks, neck injury. So, him not being there and then Kiki Cootie being banged up, it really did change the offense today. They weren't able to get anything going. So, hopefully he comes back. I mean, they're just one weapon too short right now, and it really hurt old D-Watt today, unfortunately. And Laramie Tunsil missed the game too, which might not seem like a big deal, but him being that left tackle for those guys, that really did have a huge impact. So
sure, 100%.
After he signed the big contract, he doesn't play. Weird.
Who does Deshaun have next week? Just out of curiosity. He's got Indy next week. Gross.
Yeah. That's good.
So
that's what I want to see.
Yeah. So you're a Deshaun Watson owner in Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Are you benching him?
Well, it depends. If I still had Dak, I absolutely would have. But I don't have Dak anymore. And them boys are playing the Niners. I'm certainly not going to fire up the red rifle in that situation. So, no, dude. I mean, I gotta roll with them. I gotta roll with the punches and see what I got. I mean, I could pick up Mitch Trubisky.
That's what I was just going to suggest. Maybe Mitch against Minnesota.
Don't like
Jacksonville
that.
In the next 2 weeks. And then who's
like
Taysom got? Taysom's probably owned. How about Jalen Hurts? Who's Jalen Hurts got the next 2 weeks?
Jalen Hurts.
Arizona and Dallas. That could be a possible move if you're a Deshaun Watson owner. That's tough, man. To hope that they can do anything against Indy with Jonathan Taylor running the ball so effectively. That's going to be tough.
That's life, bud. I can live with it.
Yep.
Hey, man, you dance with the girl you brought to the ball, okay? That's the way that I always live by,
There you go. I like that. I like that. I do. I also usually hold to that. I don't make a lot of trades every year. usually, especially in redraft. I rarely trade in redraft unless it's I really think it's going to benefit me. So, yeah, love the one you're with. Take that, dance with the girl you brought.
That's right.
I like that.
Me and D-Watt, we're going to go up or down in flames, and I'm all right with it. Probably down, but we're rolling together. We're riding this ship together.
All right.
We're on to 2021.
We're on to 2021. All right. I think we're getting a little off the rails here. So, Josh, take us home, buddy.
Whew. Thanks for tuning in to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Josh. You can find me at FF Josh Hughes. You can find Eric at Guns of L19. Brad, if you want to talk to that schlub who's not here, you can find him at Tag Jones on the Twitter. Our show is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Empty Wagon FF. You can check out the website at fsa-fr.com. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And please tune in next week. We hope that you're still in the playoffs. We're in the same boat as you, though. So we love you. We'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye. I just realized I forgot to play the outro music, so here it is.
Amateur hour.
You know it, buddy. You know it.
Auburn fired their coach.
War Eagle.